Alright. What do you want to do?
I don't know. It's not like we have an intro.
Let's go. All right, welcome back to the Glaziar Gaming podcast. This is our Marvel / nerd section of our podcast. If you meant to click on this, I'm glad you're here. If you didn't mean to click on this, don't go away. Yeah, this is episode 13, which is beyond 12, but before 14. Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep coming at you. So even though most podcasts end after 12, we're not.
We're here.
We're here, whether you want us to or not. We're here. So
we broke the seal, as some would say.
As some would say, we broke that 12 seal. I didn't want to finish that for a sentence that was in my head, so I didn't. Anyway, before we get started, just want to let you know we really appreciate all the viewers that we've been getting in lately. We've been breaking up into clips, putting them on Twitter, and those have gotten a lot of interaction and views lately, and the ones on YouTube are getting some good interaction as well, so just thank you all very much, and we do appreciate you a lot. We're going to keep going forward with those, and if you do like those, feel free to hit that like button for us, but don't hit it too hard. Hit it like post-prom. And and then subscribe if you want to see more of the content because it's great. We mentioned Twitter. That is at Glaziar Gamble and at JJ Jaffetplane. And we'll definitely put those up. And check those out. We tweet every day. But we always let people know when new videos come out. We post the clips, like the shorter clips are posted on there without a link if you'd rather just see them right away. So feel free to check out our Twitters and like and subscribe on YouTube.
There we go.
And I haven't said this. Let me introduce. I am Mychal Glaziar. This is Joe Rybolt, and we are here for you. And let's get going. We are going to start out with some non-Marvel news, but it does involve Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played Twisted Metal as a kid.
I did, on the PlayStation.
Loved it.
Drive around, crazy car.
And blow up other people's cars.
Yeah.
That was like the whole point. Anthony Mackie is producing and starring in a new Twisted Metal series. So I think that's awesome. Yeah. I think that's a great casting. And Anthony Mackie has such a huge background in theater and acting. I was waiting for him to get some big producer credits. So I'm excited to see how this turns out because...
Gotta schedule it around Captain America 4, though.
What?
Marvel did just release some dates. 4 dates in 2024.
He wouldn't take it if he didn't think he could do it. Plus, he's similar to James Gunn. When Marvel wanted James Gunn back, James Gunn was like, you'll work with me when I'm available. Yeah. Anthony Mackie's so important to their future that it's like, you'll work with me when I'm available. Right. So he'll make it work. Marvel will make it work, but very good on him. I think that's awesome. He deserves it. We'll jump into the actual Marvel news now. First thing, so Eternals is coming out. We've mentioned Eternals multiple episodes. However, there's no new trailer, no new information about the show, the movie itself. But there was some awesome behind the scenes information that we got to see.
Yeah, so people familiar with Walking Dead, there's an actress on there named Laruen Ridloff. She plays Connie in The Walking Dead. She's my favorite character on The Walking Dead outside Negan. She took a break from Walking Dead. She fake died and then they brought her back. Shocker, she's alive. Yep. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, typical The Walking Dead. Right. Didn't see the character.
She had another. Yeah, so Michonne did that same thing when she had to go shoot Black Panther. But Laruen Ridloff is in Eternals. She's playing the Eternal Makkari. Mm-hmm. She's a deaf actress, and so there was a couple of scenes where she had to start the scene facing a wall, and so she can't hear anything, so she can't hear the cue to begin. So she would voice her frustrations to her co-star Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie thought of a tip to use a laser pointer to kind of cue her. Mm-hmm. And then
I think they described it as a laser circle on the wall.
Yeah, so that she could see that and know when to start, and then it's easily able to be edited out. So that's just Angelina Jolie looking out for
Angelina Jolie's
her.
been working in Hollywood forever. often been considered somebody that's been great to work with, and this just proves why.
Yeah, she's also said that she didn't join the Eternals because she wanted to be a superhero or whatever. She wanted to be a part of a family.
Yeah.
And so this is her Eternals family.
It's hard of hearing themselves.
My
for those that don't know, my left ear is quite bad. My dad is nearly deaf, so hearing something like that is very touching, personal, close to home for myself. And so when I read that, it actually made me feel very warm and fuzzy because I could relate on a personal level, and I was happy to hear something like that because you don't really think about that. It's nice to hear that somebody who is deaf and in the hearing impaired community can successfully act in a movie as big as Eternals and for Marvel,
as
for
big
Disney,
as Walking Dead too.
And Walking Dead,
all props to Laruen Ridloff. I'm very excited to see her.
And I'm very excited. I don't want to beat a dead horse and just continue going on that topic. So, very excited for her.
Go see Eternals in November.
God, we're gonna see Eternals. So we'll see you there if you're at the same one. We're not gonna tell you which theater we're going to, but if we see you there, say hello.
We'll know.
Yeah, we'll see you because we see you right now. You look great today. Another Marvel news: John Bernthal and Krysten Ritter. John Bernthal and Krysten Bernthal and John Ritter are two people that have been. It was Punisher and what's her name?
I'm gonna let you get it.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to look it up. It's Jessica Jones.
There you go.
They are both. So they were Defenders. And
Punisher wasn't in.
Punisher's not Defender, but they're like in the same.
The Netflix. They're in the same universe. The Netflix.
Well, they both have been recently discussing like their potential future in the MCU. Even though we mentioned last week, stop asking actors if they're in it.
Stop asking Charlie Cox.
Stop asking Charlie Cox. Stop asking everyone, please. But anyway, John Bernthal said he would definitely come back and play Punisher. Except he wants to make sure it's done right.
Yeah, they asked him in regards to, are you like curious about this whole multiverse thing and like how the Punisher can come into it, how Frank Castle could come into it? And he's like, to be honest, I don't really read any of the multiverse stuff. I will come back. Like I'll want to come back as Punisher, but I want to do it right for the fans.
Absolutely. And he plays his character well. He's one of those actors, like most good actors, they research their character, develop their character personally before putting them on screen.
And he's fine doing the hardcore scenes. Like Punisher is a very bloody.
I have a history in hardcore scenes.
Do you now?
I do. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, hardcore Punisher. He does have a
a lot of Punisher kills people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
including rubbing their face on broken glass.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's all right with that, and he's a great actor. He was great in The Walking Dead. He's actually in Night at the Museum 2, where he plays Al Capone.
Fury. He's in Fury.
So he's he has a wide variety, and he plays each character really well. So I hope that Kevin Feige does do it well. Which, since Feige would be the one running it, it's going to be done right. But then Krysten Ritter also said that she would be there in a flash if she were asked to play Jessica Jones again. I have the coat in my closet ready to go.
Yeah.
So when an actor says we mentioned this before too.
Yeah.
If an actor says something like that, sign them.
Someone that she looks the part.
She looks
plays
like
the part.
They've basically changed how Jessica Jones looks in the games and stuff to perfectly look like Krysten Ritter.
Yeah. So it's the only thing that they could take anybody from that universe. Wilson Fisk, I think they probably want him back. Or Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin. Yep. Daredevil.
And
Punisher,
Vincent
Jessica
D'Onofrio
Jones.
has liked
He's
a
been
bunch
liking
of
a lot of tweets.
And then somebody asked him about it, and he says, "Don't read into it." Like, he was basically super just like, "I'm trolling, and I'm gonna keep trolling."
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So, and then and I think we could have a different Hell's Kitchen and Defenders group
Gordon
ourselves.
Ramsay?
Yeah. And I think they recast Luke Cage and recast Iron Fist, and that's just the way it is. So,
why would you recast Iron Fist?
Recast who?
Which we have some people we would want to play Iron Fist.
Yeah, we've got some stuff coming up. We'll have to probably find a better casting. We could find a better casting.
I think we'll get, by next week we'll have it all. Another person that was recently asked for like the 600th time if he's in a Marvel movie, Andrew Garfield was on Jimmy Fallon. And they brought up his infamous sitting next to Tom Holland on that like walkway photo. I don't know if you've seen the photo.
Oh no! Well, if that was Tom Holland's, if that was Tom Holland,
exactly.
You don't know.
Andrew Garfield said that's completely photoshopped. I watched that whole like interaction. It's a couple minutes long because Jimmy and him are laughing the whole time. Yeah. It's like uncomfortable laughing for Andrew Garfield, but like anyway,
that's probably what he's had to do. He's probably had to master the uncomfortable laugh.
Am I in the movie?
He's looking out his window for like Feige with a sniper.
It's perfect because he purpose like his attitude changes in a moment. So that Kevin Feige meme edit was perfect for it. But yeah, it was perfect for it, and like he says like I don't want to disappoint anybody, and it's to the point he recently said that they have divulged information to him about the movie because he's not in it.
Inserted the Agatha.
Right, it's the egg.
Yeah, because he's not in it.
Right, yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so he says he's not in it, and he's said that multiple times, and they're going to keep asking him anyway. He said the photo is photoshopped, and...
Right, yeah.
But anyway, he was asked.
Yeah, and Doc Ock is not in No Way Home either.
Yeah. Doc Ock wasn't supposed to be in No Way Home. That original trailer wasn't a real leak.
Yeah. Then Alfred Molina was straight
Haley
up
Steinfeld had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So they'll keep asking, and he'll keep saying no. And he said, I don't want fans to be disappointed, so I'm trying to keep their expectations
something similar
held.
to what Charlie Cox said, too.
Similar, almost, verbatim. So Kevin Feige's, like, sitting there. He's got the sniper on him, but it also projects a teleprompter, being like, this is what you say, all right? You say, I want to subdue expectations. Yeah. I want to subdue... Okay. So... hopefully, we find out just how many scenes Andrew Garfield is in. And, but speaking of Haley Steinfeld, we'll move on from that just because, Andrew Garfield, he's probably
that was a fun little bit. Well, we'll see. You'll have to see in December.
Just stop asking him. He clearly wants to not. Yeah. Doesn't want to answer anymore.
Yeah, just ask him, hey, do you think Spider-Man looks good? He's like, yeah, I'm probably going to go check it out. And then just end the conversation.
However, I tweeted, for those that we mentioned follow, at Glaziar Gamble, tweeted out, because my takeaway from the...
Oh my god.
You weren't supposed to see that. I was doing the Thor. Did you like it? It was my... breakdown of the interview. He did. So my things were from the clip. I said, because Andrew Garfield mentioned that Tom Holland is a perfect cast for the Spider-Man. I said, yes, Tom Holland is perfect, but Andrew Garfield was a good one. It was just underrated and in poorly done movies. Andrew Garfield made a comment about now he can just be a true fan of Spider-Man because he's not in it, so he can make comments about potentially not liking the suit or that. And I took that because of the way he said it. And it's a very common concern about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. The biggest complaint is the suit. I want to know, does Andrew Garfield, my question to him would be, do you really not like the Spider-Man suit? Because I personally don't like Iron Spider. I think it looks dumb.
Okay.
Just a personal, sorry. But, I would love to ask him, do you really not like the suit? Because I thought that was an interesting comment that Jimmy Fallon completely missed the opportunity to ask. And then... I said, people can resurface deleted tweets from celebrities from 10 years ago, but that Photoshop photo got erased. But a supposedly Photoshop photo gets erased, but Sony a tweet from 10 years
Sony
ago
was getting taken down.
But deleted tweets resurfaced. Yeah. So just want to say, I just threw that out there. That'll be our last little thing on it. But I did break it down on Twitter at Glaziar Gamble, and stop asking Andrew because he doesn't want to be asked.
And Charlie Cox.
And Charlie Cox.
Tobey Maguire. And just everybody. Stop asking.
Please. Ask the people that are, like, have been, like, the people that haven't been in Marvel that might be in Marvel. Like, when people were asking Daniel Radcliffe, he had fun with it. Elijah Wood, having fun with it. Like, those people ask away. But, just, like, come on. Just stop. But, yeah, we mentioned Haley Steinfeld. But before we do that, since we were on the topic of Spider-Man, Andy Carnival, otherwise known as Andy Serkis.
Gollum.
He's great. And
probably the best CGI face actor.
He's Caesar in Planet of the Apes, home of the Planet of the War of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay. 2.
And he's just an awesome. He's got his hands in a lot more things than people realize.
Oh my god,
including me.
His claws.
He's got his claws in. But yeah, he is awesome, and he is handling Venom.
He's directing.
He's directing Venom, and he said that of course Venom and Tom Holland Spider-Man will meet
at some point. Yeah, I don't think he said Tom Holland's. I think he just said Spider-Man.
So of course Venom and Spider-Man will meet. I thought he said Tom Holland's.
Maybe.
Either way. He said that. A lot of people reacted to it because that's a big deal, but in my opinion, that should be obvious. Similar to, like, the Ronin tattoos for Hawkeye, him having them, feels like something that should be obvious. Like, if you really didn't think that Venom and Spider-Man were going to meet, it ruins Venom. Like, what's the point?
Sony even has said, like, our Sonyverse. So they said themselves, like, our Spider-Verse characters will, like, it'll make sense once you see No Way Home. That's what they said. So
the post-credit scene for Venom,
let's just say it's making audiences go crazy.
It's making audiences go crazy.
That's what we'll leave it with.
Leave it with that. Yeah.
It makes you instantly think of
Spider-Man. Yep.
So
if it's anything else, what would it be? It might not be Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Spider-Man.
So
it is the same. Daily Bugle paper as Andrew Garfield's.
But people also said that Shang-Chi's post-credit scene got standing ovations, and that was not anywhere near standing ovation worthy either credit scene.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It made you think,
but it wasn't standing ovation worthy. So when people are saying that people got their socks knocked off by the Venom credit scene, I'm going to lower my expectations compared to because of what happened with Shang-Chi's credit scenes. But yeah, so keep on the lookout for that. Venom's one of my favorites, so we'll be seeing it, and we'll let you know exactly what happened in that credit scene. But now we'll move on to
Haley Steinfeld.
Hawkeye trailer happened, was released on Monday, and we'll just give you a quick reaction. We're not going to do like a breakdown or anything for you, but I thought it seemed... So it's set around Christmas time.
Yes.
And Marvel said it's like heavily dealing with the plot. Christmas does center around the plot. So it's basically going to be like it's a 6-episode Marvel Christmas Hawkeye show. It's very obvious that Haley Steinfeld's character is going to be just a fan of Hawkeye, who likes archery because she calls herself like a master world champion archer.
And in the comics, she's like an Olympic level archer.
And she's
archer talent.
At one point, she sees him and she goes, "You're Hawkeye."
Yeah.
And so it's clear she's going to be like fangirling for him a little bit.
Yeah, I think that.
And then they're going to have like some banter back and forth. Right. It seemed a lot more campy and jokey to me than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, I did not expect... It basically didn't seem like there was... Even the action scenes seemed kind of jokey.
I think we had... they're kind of going, like, every other, like feel good. Like, WandaVision, there was a lot of dark elements to it. I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there was a couple. Loki, there was quite a bit, you know. So maybe this is a fun one because I think
this is their and I know What If's been pretty heavy for people. So how about we?
So What If's been heavy. I think Miss Marvel's gonna be fun. I don't think Miss Marvel's
She-Hulk's gonna be super fun.
Yeah. She-Hulk could see some dark stuff too, though.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I think Miss Marvel's gonna be really fun.
It's Miss Marvel surrounding a young character, so it would be
young
kind of difficult to make that a dark show.
A fangirl. That's a fangirl. So, yeah. So I think it. I don't really know what to expect from it. I'm gonna watch it, obviously. Like, I'm excited for it. Because it's it's around the fact that Hawkeye is a retired former Avenger, but he's got to kind of make up for the enemies he made while he was Ronin.
Yep.
So,
and that was one big thing people focused on is he's listed as a former Avenger. Mm-hmm. Again, it's pretty clear. Like, he's obviously after losing Black Widow and his family partially, and the
Cap.
Like, why would he want to stay an Avenger? A lot of the Avengers are they basically said that they're burnt out and done. There's other heroes that can take over. So, he's a former Avenger. He's got his family, and I thought it was interesting. It seemed like it was a lot more upbeat and jokey. So,
we'll have to see the action scenes.
I'm assuming, just like we talked about last week, I think it's basically these 6 episodes are a way of introducing Kate Bishop.
Yep.
And season 2 is going to be all about Kate Bishop, and the future is going to be Kate Bishop as the new Hawkeye. She wears her big purple suit, so it's heading more towards...
You get more of that.
The traditional, like,
purple.
It'll be basically just a genuine, like, new, probably cooler, more comic-style Hawkeye.
Yeah.
When Kate Bishop moving forward, and that's what it seemed like in the trailer. So that's what I thought. It was a lot more campy, whatever, than I expected. Right. So I'm excited for it. I'm sure the action scenes and there will be some darkness, but for the most part, looks pretty happy. Nice change of pace.
Seen Wilson Fisk possibly be rumored for that, teased, and then the character Echo also.
Echo's the only one I've seen teased. Otherwise, I haven't heard too much about the show, which is probably why I was surprised by the trailer. The other big show for Marvel is...
Let's talk about it.
What If?
What If?
What If Zombies? Wait, no, we did... God. Alright, now we're back to a week ago. What If Zombies? Now let's go back forward. And what if Killmonger?
What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark?
What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark is the What If episode this week. Yeah, we'll do what we have been doing. We'll do a quick rundown. I'm going to try to go faster this week. I've realized that I've been quite slow these previous times. And then we'll do the actual reaction after. And I also don't want to be boring. So it was very similar to like a retelling of Iron Man a little bit. And then it kind of goes into its own Black Panther a bit. Then it changes its original story. So it does kind of retell similar to episode 1. So it starts with the 10 rings have reinforcements on the route that Tony is traveling, similar in Iron Man 1 when he's in the armored car. However, when the missile lands next to him that says Stark Industries, Killmonger takes it and throws it, saves Tony. As a Navy SEAL, Tony afterwards in his press conference where normally he would have said I am Iron Man, it's a similar setting except there he promotes Killmonger from a Navy SEAL to Chief Security Officer at Stark's, but then Killmonger outs Obadiah in front of the press where Tony that's where I think also said he was going to cancel weapons production he outs Obadiah in front of everybody saying that the assassination was planned by Obadiah. And then, because of that, Tony promotes Killmonger to COO of Stark Industries. Killmonger says that one thing he always wanted to design as a kid was an automated combat drone, which is their way of introducing basically a new Iron Man suit. There's like a little failure montage, but that leads to Tony wanting to make a miniature arc reactor he comments on. But Killmonger says no because he says vibranium is better.
Yeah. One thing I liked here is when they brought up the suit, like the suit
Mach 1?
Like, yeah, they brought up the suit thing, the projection, like a projection of what the suit, I'm blanking on the word, and then Tony
Hologram?
Stark, yeah, the hologram. Tony Stark looks at Eric Stevens, Killmonger, and is like gives him a questionable look, and he's like, what? I like anime. That made me chuckle, and then he's like, well, we're going to have a bunch of Gundam suits, and I was like, I like that part.
The Gundam reference was very funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I agree. Good call out. That was very funny. And then when he says vibranium's better, Tony's like, well, where are you supposed to get vibranium?
I don't have that.
There's no vibranium. So then Killmonger obviously knows because he's like has connections with Claw and the Black Panther.
He has the ring that
he has his ring his dad wears, which he did not reveal until that moment.
Yep.
As opposed to Black Panther, where he always had it visible. They decide to use Rhodey to buy it from Claw.
Yeah, be the American liaison.
Be the American liaison for the military and for Stark. And then at the purchase of what, like, that's supposed to go down, Black Panther, T'Challa shows up and, like, basically says, defeats everybody, and then tells Claw, give me the vibranium. This isn't about you. However, Killmonger, then this is where he reveals this has been his plan the whole time, shows up behind, uses a Stark electric taser.
Those like the that same thing they used to. It was the Stark Industries thing that stopped Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
So that's a very powerful tool. The kind of the
right. I saw a lot of people were complaining that this was like, what a weak thing that could take out Black Panther. It's like, no, it stopped Hulk.
Yeah, it stopped. That's what Shuri used to stop Killmonger too.
Right.
So
come on, people.
Yeah.
Like, that was people that didn't realize or remember from the show.
Stark tech. It's Stark tech. It's been in the MCU multiple times.
Absolutely. So, just little recollection, like, before you jump into it, like, look, that wasn't a weak thing he was using, because he does end up killing Black Panther with that.
Yeah.
And then he kills Rhodes and puts the taser in Rhodes' hands to cover it up. But yeah, he kills Rhodes with the Black Panther glove, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It's clear he's working with Claw. Then they go back to Stark's, because they still don't realize that Killmonger's bad yet. Or do we? However, Stark reveals he made the combat drone with Jarvis's technology, because it was recording that whole interaction, and they recorded Killmonger killing Rhodes and Black Panther and all that, and Stark locks him in there. Stark brings a drone in that they designed, one of their new, like, combat drones that they were supposed to be designing together to kill Killmonger himself. However, Killmonger takes the Dora Milaje spear that he originally told Stark, oh, I got this souvenir for you, but he takes the Dora Milaje spear, kills the drone, and then stabs and kills Tony Stark with it, which was intense. So he killed Rhodes, Black Panther, Tony Stark. They're killing a lot of main characters throughout these What If episodes. It's pretty crazy, but you can't really do that in live action. Yeah. So that's one thing I really like about animated. It's very cool. Killmonger then he tries to tell the Stark Industries people and the U.S. military that the Dora Milaje came in and killed Stark. That's why he was killed with a spear. And then he tried to pass off that he wasn't the one to kill them, but then Pepper Potts is like, I don't know if I trust this guy. But they decide to trust him anyway, and then the military says, we are now seizing everything of Stark's, because Stark's contracts say the military can seize it all. Killmonger and the army convince them to release an army of those drones onto Wakanda. But once they get there and reveal where Wakanda is, Killmonger kills Claw, similar to how he did in Black Panther, and brings Claw to the Wakandan royalty, T'Chaka and his aunt as well, and said, like, the loyalty Wakanda thing, like, I brought these people here to prove to you I'm loyal to Wakanda. They decide to trust Killmonger, except Shuri. Shuri is the only one that's like, I don't know if I... Like, just like Pepper Potts, like,
women's intuition.
And genius. Like, Shuri's the smartest person in the MCU, in my opinion. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think Shuri's probably... Yeah, she's probably, in my opinion, she's probably the smartest person in the MCU. Without I really
hope there's a What If episode where Thanos snaps the other half, and we get to see, because we talked about this, they'd have Strange, they'd have Parker, Shuri would be alive.
They'd have Scarlet Witch. They win. Scarlet Witch wins everything. I feel like Scarlet Witch was purposeful. Like, that wasn't a random snap. Yeah. He got rid of Scarlet Witch.
We're going to include the half of them.
And make sure Scarlet Witch is part of that half.
The person who... held off 5. Yeah, held off 5.
Jeez. But yeah, so then because they decide to trust him, Killmonger tells them that the U.S. military is coming, but he tells them to let in the drones into Wakanda because their force field will be able to defeat them.
Similar to how T'Challa lets in the Outriders for the battle of... Like, we can't take them all. We have to kind of bring them in.
Shuri says no, but it works. The force field, they close the force field after letting them in, and then the communication is disrupted, and they can no longer see them. But then Killmonger has a switch, and he turns them back on by himself so that the U.S. military can't see what's happening, but like it's all there. Then they defeat the drones in there. Killmonger's like doing all this stuff, making it very clear, like, hey, look how good I'm doing. He saves the queen. And after they defeat the drones, they pan out, and the Watcher looks very sad and disappointed in the sky. Like, that was the first time I've seen his face where it doesn't really look super neutral. Like, he looks like he's extremely disappointed because Killmonger's plan's being successful, and he knows this is a universe that is not going well. So I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to bring that up because, like, the Watcher to me is the most important character so far. Yeah. And, he looked very concerned, and like a neutral party shouldn't be concerned. Because of Killmonger saving the queen and doing so well in battle, they make him the new Black Panther. When he drinks I've heard people call
the heart-shaped fruit.
The perp drink. Okay. I've heard people call it that. Heart-shaped herb. I feel uncomfortable calling it that. So the heart-shaped herb. Yeah. Drinks it, then he goes into the spirit plane, and he sees T'Challa and the former Black Panthers.
Why not?
And T'Challa tells him that power unearned will get the best of you. I'm not sure the exact quote. It was a great quote. Yeah. I should have written it down. But basically, the power that Killmonger has gotten now is unearned, and because of that, it'll come back to bite him or pay him back in some way. Basically, Killmonger doesn't care and continues moving forward because he's very confident in himself. I think it's beyond, like, it's not just arrogance. Like, he's confident and he's very smart as well. So he's planned this out, and I'm sure he thinks that the power is also deserved. Like, he doesn't think it's unearned. He believes it's deserved. Right. So yeah, he's the new Black Panther. And we then get like a jump or time skip or whatever. Shuri and Pepper Potts. Shuri is in Pepper Potts' office, and she's like, how'd you get in here? Shuri doesn't really answer the question. And they both say, or Shuri says she doesn't trust Killmonger, and she provides proof that Killmonger is the one that killed everyone. Pepper says, I knew it, and they decide that they're going to take him down together. So the next episode of the T'Challa, or What If Killmonger Saved Tony Stark, the second one, is going to be focused around Pepper Potts and Shuri taking him down, which means we might get to see Pepper Potts in some sort of armor again. Rescue armor. She could be like officially like rescue. Yeah. So that'd be really cool. I like that idea. And that was how the episode ended. So I like the potential rescue. Overall, I thought the episode was good, not great. Yep. Kind of like slightly like okay, good. I would say it was slightly better than Zombies. Maybe like around the same as Zombies. Somewhere like that. I don't know what you thought.
Probably it was very similar to Captain Carter. It was the same yet different. Yep. They're almost like identical episodes.
So my thing, that was my first thought, was it was very, very similar to Captain Carter. It was a retelling of the movies, like it was a retelling of Iron Man and Black Panther. The reason it was better is it's carried by the fact that Killmonger is such a good character.
Right. Yeah. And it's Michael B. Jordan.
It's Michael B. Jordan, but the character Killmonger himself is just... amazing.
Very well done comparatively to what like the comics Killmonger. It's different and it's brilliant and
one of the best stories, one of the best costumes, one of the
best villains,
one of the best like in my opinion, he's probably top 2 best Marvel villain, maybe not number 2. Yeah. I like him better than Thanos. It's just Thanos is cool and big. He's like a big bad versus a small bad, but Killmonger is sick. And Michael B. Jordan's amazing. And so
Michael B. Jordan has said he would come back and be Killmonger. So let's hope for a retelling. I would love to see the gold suit freaking Black Panther costume.
I would have liked that. Yeah. So I think we did tier list last podcast episode. And then we mentioned it was
you love your lists, especially you do your one every new episode you do a different list.
I didn't do one this time though.
You didn't?
Nope.
You didn't put it in your
Twitter
top 6?
Nope, I didn't make one.
So live right now, or you?
We can do one live right now. Okay. Number 1, A tier, Doctor Strange and T'Challa.
Okay. 4 and 2.
4 and 2. Yep. No B tier. Nothing that I would consider a B tier right
Above
now.
Average.
C tier would be Zombies and Black Panther. Zombies and Killmonger Saving Tony. So episodes 5 and 6.
Okay.
And then episodes
1
episode 1 is D tier, which was Captain Carter, and then episode 3 is F tier.
Okay.
Because that one was probably just like, it wasn't even like good as a what if episode. I just really didn't like that one at all. I would put it in the same tier as Captain Carter, I think, but because of how good the character Killmonger is what moves it up that tier for me. So yeah, that's what I would say for my like official ranking. But I like Killmonger so much. If you want to put it in B tier, that's fine. I just don't think it was a good enough episode to be that good because it was such a retelling. I think the next episode that's focused on Shuri is gonna be amazing. Shuri. I think that episode,
different than
Shuri. I like her a lot. Yeah. So, and I like the actor in real life when she got hurt and Letitia Wright got hurt in filming.
Dedication.
Exactly. That means she was going all out. Yeah. And she went all out in the first Black Panther, and she's great. And the character is somebody that you could really, I mean, that's fans were saying make her the new Black Panther.
Which happens.
Exactly. So she's awesome. So I'm all for that, and I think the next episode's going to be even better. It's I think there's a few of these episodes that I don't think are turning out very great in episode 1 is because their next episode, the sequel,
season 1.
Because it's episode 1 in season 1, and then the next part of that story won't happen until next season. I think that's when a couple of these episodes are going to get a lot better.
Sure.
Or these storylines. And I think this is just one of those ones where it had to build up this major story because the Shuri Pepper Potts storyline is going to step up one more.
Yeah. I'm very excited for the Ultron one because I hope the one thing that Ultron, the best part about Age of Ultron was probably James Spader voicing Ultron.
Yeah, like his voice was
perfect for Ultron. Yeah. So, I'm hopefully he's back. I'm not sure, but
I can do a quick check.
Yeah, hopefully he's back as Ultron.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited for the Ultron episode. Overall, we kind of broke down the episode, and there wasn't really a ton of like Easter eggs. It was similar to Captain Marvel. The Easter eggs were just a retelling.
Yeah.
So a lot of more callbacks than Easter eggs. Yeah. And I think Easter eggs are more like signs of the future that they hide.
Yeah.
So,
to call it out to like old writers or just different objects that may not be like important in the future, but just like they're still an important piece of like the comic history. So,
because it did a retelling of the movies, and because it like didn't really feel like it needed more time than the 30 minutes, this time around I kind of just felt like it was over. I was like, okay. Yeah, that was good. Like I didn't really have anything more to add to it. It was just it was solid. It was good. It was good. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah. Love Killmonger. Love Michael B. Jordan. So and love Shuri. So excited for the future of that. Similar to Captain Carter. I'm looking forward to it. It's not a bad enough episode to put me off, like episode 3. It was just not good at all. Hated it. I'm so strongly
like I said,
against
my
episode 3.
My favorite part of that was just seeing that Incredible Hulk is part of the MCU. That's the only part.
Yep. Absolutely. That's all we got for the what if, so we can end it there. We've done all of our Marvel stuff, so we just have one last thing here, honestly, and it's a sneak peek. It's not a full segment, but we are planning like a kind of a big major segment that I think it's got potential to.
We got a couple Marvel groups coming up that haven't been out there. We've got we could recast. It's not recasting, or it's a casting segment.
Yeah, it's all about casting heroes and villains for the future.
Yeah, so we're taking some of our favorite actors and actresses, and we're gonna give them their future role in the MCU. So we've got things like the big ones. We've got the X-Men. We've got the Fantastic Four, Inhumans. We've got
recasting
Defenders.
Some of the Defenders or all the Defenders.
Yeah. So we got those are just some of the groups. Thunderbolts. We've gotten a couple of those guys.
And he has Guardians that maybe haven't been said yet. A lot of just like Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man's such a big.
Yeah. So we got a lot of groups coming up. So we just got a couple big names here.
Yeah, we're gonna give you like a sneak peek of the segment,
4.
but we have 4 that we feel extremely strongly about. That like this is who we would pick to cast this specific character, and we just feel like it's a perfect casting or a really good casting. It's not necessarily that they look like the person in the comics. It's not like we might do gender swaps, race swap. It might be anything like that. It's not. We're not restricting ourselves to that. We think it's purely that actor could do a great job in that role, portray the character, or put their own spin on it.
The only stipulation we're going to try to stick to is if the character is, say, gay, or because I know the Marvel wants to do that. So Marvel wants to do that, and if we fan cast that person, we should stick to that Marvel rules because they're going to do it.
There is a gay character in X-Men who is one of my favorite characters. So I've said it before, Loki, Venom, and Iceman are my 3 favorite Marvel characters. Iceman is gay. And just a little heads up, we're not going to go over it this time, but the actor that I casted and want him casted at is also gay. It sticks with it, and I think he'd be perfect. Sure. I get giddy thinking about how good I think he would do, and I like what he's been in before, and so I don't know. I'm very excited to go over who I want to cast as Iceman.
That'd be X-Men when we get there.
But because Marvel does want to stick with that, we're gonna try to stick with that.
So we got 4 people today. If they end up coming in to, like, if they're part of, say, these groups coming up, Inhumans, Defenders, whatever, we'll include them again, just to be like we referenced it in the past thing. So let's just I got one right off the bat. I don't even need to look.
All right, let's see it.
Norman Reedus.
Yes.
So he's been asked this question: if you could be one player, one person, one character in the Marvel universe, who would you be? And he stated, "Well, I love my bike." He's got Ride with Norman Reedus, where he goes around and drives his motorcycle around.
Good on a motorcycle.
Yeah, and so that's something he's very comfortable with. So another Marvel character that rides around on a motorcycle is actually a stunt guy, right?
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham. Yep. Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider.
Oh.
So I think that's perfect if you want to get Norman Reedus into the MCU. That's who we got. Johnny Blaze or Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, well, he's already Spider-Noir. Can't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine if they want to stick with the Robbie Reyes, but our number one, definitely Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider, as the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, I think is just perfect.
Yeah.
He fits the character. I think the character shouldn't be that charismatic, even though Norman Reedus can be, but like he should be kind of like a dark, kind of relaxed vocals. Yeah. So I think
he's not going to be Johnny Blaze a lot. He's going to be Ghost Rider a lot, right?
Which it should be.
Yeah. So he's going to be CGI face Flaming Skull.
We don't need another Johnny Blaze love story. We want Johnny Blaze to be part of Midnight Suns and fighting Mephisto, fighting with Elsa Bloodstone. Like we want to see Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus should be Ghost Rider. So that's our first. Number 2 is one that we also very strongly agreed on and have agreed on for years.
Who are we doing?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
MODOK.
Yeah.
So I've been watching the Hulu MODOK show with Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Right.
He actually does a great job with the voice. Like, it just sounds really nice.
He's also been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. Jim Carrey's vocal talent, like his voice acting, is amazing, but his face he's also a good face contortionist, like similar to Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah. Like, they're really good controlling the muscles in their face. I think Jim Carrey as MODOK would be able to adjust so that the CGI would be even more realistic and perfect as MODOK, and his voice, he'd be able to go like Dr. Robotnik, but evil.
He doesn't always look like MODOK. Always doesn't look like that giant head, small body on a floating chair. Like, he's a scientist for AIM. Mm-hmm. He does experiments on himself, on the people around him, and then eventually he gets this giant head. His brain expands. He gets telekinetic powers too, so he could, even more so, Jim Carrey could play that scientist flawlessly and leaning into MODOK.
Absolutely. And there is another character that I think Jim Carrey would be very good at that I don't know if we want to talk about this time. Leader.
Oh, well, I mean, they got Sam Stearns. That's his character name. They teased him in Incredible Hulk. So that guy could come back.
But if they were to recast it,
he'd be a great leader.
I think Jim Carrey as leader would be. Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah. So Jim Carrey is one actor I definitely want to see, and I think MODOK would be his perfect casting. But another good casting would be leader. We got 2 left. Do you want to go over?
Let's end with this guy, because we could say he could be anything.
This third person is one of my favorite overall actors.
Yeah, we've seen a couple mock-ups for him too.
Yes, as this character even.
Yeah,
this is another guy I thought could play leader. very well. I thought he could play Nightmare pretty well.
Yeah.
Mainly, I think he should be a villain. I think
Absolutely, yeah, he plays the villains.
I think he could play the villain
He's
well.
played Scarecrow.
He played Scarecrow in Batman Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy, who you guys, if you might recognize him from A Quiet Place Part 2 recently, from a recent Peaky Blinders. He was Scarecrow in Dark Knight. He was in the sci-fi cult classic In Time with Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried. He's awesome. I really like him a lot, and I think as Doctor Doom, he would be absolutely just a great twist on the character. I liked Julian McMahon's Doctor Doom. I didn't think it was bad from the original Fantastic Four with Chris Evans. I like Julian McMahon a lot, so I was actually a fan of that. But I think Cillian Murphy would have
it to a how?
A how?
Number?
Yeah, I think he would absolutely kill it. And I think he'd kill it in any casting, honestly, if they gave it to him. But specifically Doctor Doom, it would be better than Fan Four Stick.
Absolutely.
And
guys, that dude was just exploding heads.
You need actors like him to develop a deep villain. And Doom is probably, for comic book fans, probably the #1 Marvel villain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's
involved in
everyone.
Everything.
Yeah.
Not just Fantastic Four,
Avengers,
everything.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy, I think that's perfect casting. Yeah. Boss Logic has done mock-ups of it.
Yeah.
If you haven't looked, check it out. Maybe I'll send him a DM and see if he'll let me use it in the video. It's so good. And I think he would do the character justice. He's one of those guys that is such a talented actor that you want him as a villain because your villain actors should try to outdo your main characters.
It's like Christian Bale. I think Heath
Ledger outdid Christian Bale. You need Tom Hardy as Bane did an amazing job. Yeah. So they should at least be as good as your heroes, and I think Cillian Murphy would be able to match.
And especially you're going to get he's not going to be Doom the whole time, right? He's going to be Victor Von Doom for probably a good chunk of whatever movie he's in.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to match anybody. So if they do a Fantastic Four, like with the famous fan casting of the Fantastic Four, John Krasinski,
he'd fit in with that.
He'd fit in with that. So I'm all for it, and I want to see it.
Sure.
This last.
Now this one, I wanted to end with this one because we've got a bunch of different fan castings, and we don't care.
We don't. We just need him. Not only is he the hottest commodity actor right now, maybe besides The Rock.
Yeah.
He is in a bunch of major shows. They tried to get him for Crypticon Minneapolis, and he's just
price tag was a bit high, but
price tag's high because he's a hot commodity.
Exactly.
And he can play any. We have at least a dozen characters, I would say, that we could probably put him in.
Yeah.
We'd probably want him to be a hero over a villain.
Yeah, because you want him for multiple movies.
But I think he could play a good villain.
Absolutely.
But I would want him for multiple movies as well. Lock him in. Keep him away from DC if you can. But he's been on DC before.
Has he?
Yeah, he was the Man of Steel. Oh. Henry Cavill.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, bars. Henry Cavill was... we believe he would be amazing in anything.
Yeah. So, let's see. Let's do the... If we're going to do a villain, we got two minor villains.
The #1 villain I want him for, Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Sinister you could have for multiple movies for the Sinister Six. But, he would look the part. And I think because if you've seen The Witcher, he could draw a little bit from that, but it would be like a charismatic Geralt.
Yeah.
It would just... I think him as Mr. Sinister would be my dream villain casting for Henry Cavill. And then we said Constrictor and Avalanche. Avalanche is almost forgotten about, and Constrictor, you had to ask me who it was.
Yeah,
he's not popular. Constrictor's not popular, but if you were to include or try to make lesser known villains into modern day, I think he would be an amazing Constrictor. I think he would be able to play the part really well. He has combat with weapon experience and acting, and I think he'd be able to handle it. Constrictor has blades, whips that he uses, so I think Henry Cavill will be able to do that really well.
Yeah, I think Mr. Sinister, he'd look like Mr. Sinister. He might be too
bulky.
But yeah, I know Mr. Sinister's been
a
huge pain in the ass to the X-Men. So
he looks pretty thin as Geralt. He just has broad shoulders. He has a smaller waist. He has the triangle body. Yeah. So I think because Mr. Sinister tends to have large shoulder pads that he wears. You could hide it with costume a
Sure.
little bit, but I think it would be perfect there. And then Constrictor-wise, if he were to do something like that,
He can wear a full bodysuit.
he can wear a full bodysuit and probably rock it.
Yeah.
So, and Constrictor uses vibranium and adamantium in a couple different versions. So if you wanted to introduce him in the X-Men, you could do that with adamantium. If you wanted to introduce him with Wakanda, you could do that. Or
Sure.
So
Speaking of X-Men.
speaking of X-Men,
Yeah.
the hero casting for him,
We got two of them.
two of them, the big ones are Wolverine and Cyclops.
Yeah, so
my cast would be Cyclops.
Yeah, so I think he'd be a great Cyclops. So I think Wolverine, I think he's someone that has the pedigree to play Wolverine. However, he's about 11 inches shorter. Yeah, he's about 11 inches taller, than what Wolverine was in the comics. So
Hugh Jackman is quite tall.
Yeah.
I would like for them to go back into like the traditional short Wolverine.
Right.
Cyclops was tall, and he was like, him and Storm were the leaders of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Go back to like Hugh Jackman was tall. Should be traditional 5, like in the comics, Wolverine's like 5'2".
yeah,
He's like very small, and we were talking about how Cyclops, Storm were like basically the left and right hand women for Professor X, and then Wolverine was basically just the leader of the army. He's the first one into battle type of guy. They kind of went differently in the more recent like Hugh Jackman style, just because of how well Hugh Jackman was received as Wolverine.
Right.
I want them to go with somebody shorter, which is why I would rather Henry be a Cyclops. He would have to either wear extensions and like shave his face, for Cyclops you have to be clean shaven and short hair.
Yeah.
So they could either change
unless
what
you're doing Age of Apocalypse Cyclops, but we're gonna stay away from that.
right. So you could either change how Cyclops looks a little bit, or Henry Cavill would just have to try to work his Witcher shooting around,
Right.
like work it around that.
Goodness.
But yeah, so I think he'd be better as Cyclops. There's other people I like as Wolverine, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Right.
There's a couple actors that are closer to like 5'7", 5'8".
Right.
I would like them to be in it, and I think so. Like James Marsden, when he was confident against Wolverine, when people he was like looking at Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like Hugh Jackman, like looks at him, and it's just like. Cyclops is supposed to feel like he's superior to Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to feel superior when Hugh Jackman's looking at you.
Yeah.
The guy who's an incredible singer, looks like he's 20 years younger than he actually is, super tall, super ripped, and an incredible actor. And you're looking at him and it's like, I'm James Marsden. I'm also an incredible singer, great looking, but this is Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just very hard. Cyclops is supposed to feel superior.
Yeah, I would love to see... I know that everyone's going to be worried about Wolverine. Like, everyone's going to be like...
You have to fill his shoes.
Yeah. So, but I do think, Cyclops is the leader. Has always been the leader of the X-Men. So I think...
they need to go back to that.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be tough to do because everyone's going to be surrounded by Wolverine.
But if Wolverine isn't the leader, maybe it'll help. Like, yeah, he'll still get a lot of the focus because of Hugh Jackman.
Right.
But, like, if you don't make him the leader, it takes the pressure off of that actor a bit.
Right.
Like... No, I'm not. Like, when he's asked, like, how do you feel about filling the shoes of Hugh Jackman?
Right.
Well, Hugh Jackman's character was the focus, while my Wolverine is more of a secondary or tertiary character.
Right.
So, yes, Henry Cavill, make him a heavy focus of the more traditional Cyclops being the leader of the X-Men type
it should be.
Yeah.
Agree. And lock him up. I know they said they don't really want to do contracts anymore, but, like, do it.
Lock him up anyway.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, that it makes me excited to cast Storm, because I have somebody that I think is a perfect casting Professor X, but Storm makes me think, who would I want as Storm?
Right.
There's one person I can think of right away, but I don't know if she'd be perfect for her. She's kind of she seems like she might be good. Never mind.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's people that are already taken by Marvel that would also be good. It's like, oh, Tessa Thompson would be a great Storm.
Yeah. Scourge the Executioner would be a great Wolverine. Like the guy who plays Billy Butcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I was thinking. I was like, who would I want to play the Executioner? I was like, oh, they already used a great actor to play a small part and make Executioner small. Like, I was like, just those are the 4 characters that we want to provide to you now. Henry Cavill as Cyclops, Jim Carrey as MODOK.
Oh, there's 2 other ones, Cyclops or Henry Cavill. We had Hyperion, which is
Hyperion.
basically
and Captain Britain was somebody.
yeah, and Captain Britain. So either way, those two as well.
But yeah, if
we're
gonna assign one casting for each character or each actor right now, it would be Cyclops for Cavill, MODOK for Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's rumored to be in Deadpool 3, so we'll have to see what that is.
Ooh.
Too.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's rumored to be in
Cool.
Deadpool 3.
Cool.
I saw that somewhere.
And then we said
Norman Reedus
as Johnny Blaze and Cillian Murphy as Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
If you're going to potentially list like a secondary or third options, obviously Jim Carrey the leader, Henry Cavill as Captain Britain or Hyperion or Mr. Sinister, Cillian Murphy as
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. I mean, you could really... Honestly, you could do anything. I can't remember who I said, though. Cillian Murphy as leader or Nightmare was the one.
Nightmare would be good.
Cillian Murphy as Nightmare would be the secondary choice. And then Norman Reedus, we don't have a second choice.
Yeah, there's really no one
Ghost
needed.
Rider.
Yep. Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider.
Yep. Otherwise, have him come in as Daryl Marvel.
Yeah. They're taking, I mean, the pedigree of the Walking Dead actors speak for themselves.
And that's another thing I should say. We're gonna try not to take like every character from a favorite. Like we don't want like Michonne's already in it, or the person that plays Michonne.
Lauren Ridloff.
Denai Guerrera. She is already in it. So like taking Norman Reedus, it's like we also want Andrew Lincoln would be great. Yeah. So we'll try not to overload Marvel with the same show.
You got to think though, Marvel and Game of Thrones. They got Kit Harington. They got Richard Madden.
Amelia Clark's supposed to be coming in.
So they do it too.
Exactly.
We'll try not to, but if it happens, it happens.
No promises, because there's a few shows out there that I'm a fan of.
Yeah, great shows breed great actors. So.
I will say there are a couple shows already that I have taken at least 2 actors from the same show.
Yeah.
And if you want an extra spoiler, Once Upon a Time, The Umbrella Academy. So
The Walking Dead.
And The Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's more.
There's more
from The Walking Dead.
There'll be more. And Nickelodeon. The Henry Danger Show. So Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande,
Wizards of Waverly Place,
Selena Gomez. All of them. We're gonna bring all of those Disney Channel kids in there. But yeah, so we'll try not to do that. Other than that, that is everything we have. We'll give you a little sneak peek of what that segment is going to be like. We're gonna
have to think of a flashy name.
We'll think of some flashy name. If we can't think of one, help us. We need help. Please. Please help. Please. Please. If we need help. Help. Come up with something. We'll try to come up with something. But yeah, let us know if we want to think of like a name for that segment. But primarily let us know if you have any. Like, is there any actor that you've ever watched that you're like, man, they would make a terrific Vulture. Oh, Vulture's taken. Well, they would make a terrific Electro. We'll recast Electro. Like,
Electro's taken. Yeah. Electro's not in No Way Home.
But yeah, so if you can think of somebody, or if you have like a character that you loved in the comics that you've always wanted that hasn't been casted, and you're like, man, they should just cast this person. They didn't really do Rogue justice the first time. They should do more traditional Rogue. You know who would make a great Rogue?
Or tell us to cast them. We'll cast them.
Yeah, or if you just like can't think of somebody and you're like, hey, who would you cast as your Pyro? Something like that. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter. We have been getting a lot more interaction on Twitter than on YouTube. So we would definitely appreciate some comments on YouTube. But if you prefer Twitter, let us know there. It's at Glaziar Gaming and at JJJaffPlane. And let us know. And if you like this segment and liked this video, then show that by not smashing that like button. Because you got to take her home to father. Hit like lightly, like post-prom. And then subscribe if you enjoy, if you want to see some more, because we'll definitely be coming back, even if you don't want us to. So turn on those notifications to be like, God, they posted again. And we will be here just waiting.
The same spot. We're not going to move.
Nope, never. We don't move. I have terrible stomach issues and having not gone to the bathroom in over a week. Yeah. Call me Gardner Minshew.
They don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is? If you're watching this, if you watch the sports segment, you get that reference. If you don't watch sports, You're like, who's Gardner Minshew? Is that a superhero? He's a superhero to Jacksonville.
He's not in Jacksonville anymore.
He was.
In Philly, I think.
Well, they have Jalen Hurts. He was a superhero to Jacksonville.
He was.
He's my superhero. Maybe I'll cast Baker Mayfield as someone. Anyway, thanks again for watching. We will see you next week. If we don't see you next week, I will miss you. But we hope you come back. So, thank you.
That's more than you say to me when I leave.
Oh, yeah, it's because I say goodbye to you physically.
Oh.
Anyway, thanks again. You were very appreciated. GG. G.